Why are mountain bike tyres so confusing? Tyre brands need to make their ranges simpler. Fantastical and undescriptive product names, a zillion casing options, and compounds that appear to defy logical conventions all make deciding what tyre you need for the type of riding you do a mystery. Even if you're well read in the topic, we don't blame you if you're still puzzling over what's what. But should things change? Once you've heard my opinions, let me know yours in the comments. Let's be honest, despite my complaints, tyre brands have a tough job. Riders are expecting more than ever from their rubber, which only makes creating tyres even harder. And with more mountain bike genres and ever-growing demands in each, the permutations of rubber compound, tread patterns, and casing options feel like they could be almost endless. Naturally, the type of riding and trail conditions dictate the needs from a tyre's performance, but picking the right tyre for you requires some knowledge and know-how before parting with your hard-earned cash. Tread patterns, for example, can be quite complicated. Then add in the rubber compound conundrum to the mix and you'll soon be scratching your head. And what about tyre casing options? Oof. Chances are, if you're a keen cross-country racer who prioritises rolling speed and weight over grip and toughness, you'll not be wanting an aggressively treaded tyre with a super soft compound rubber and enough sidewall protection that'll let you blast down an Alp non-stop for a month. Equally, there's little point in a brand creating a slow-rolling, downhill-specific mud tyre that's designed for grip and braking traction in the toughest conditions, with a casing so light it'll only stay on the rim for the first corner before parting ways with the wheel completely. And of course, there's everything in between these two extremes to be considered. This is where things get really complicated for the brands, especially with the likes of downcountry, or whatever you want to call it, and trail riding, really pushing performance to the limit. Creating a tyre that's light but tough, rolls quickly but is grippy just about everywhere sounds almost impossible, right? But that's what we're asking for now. This means brands need to make their most popular tread patterns in almost every casing and compound variation possible, which isn't exactly straightforward, but they're doing it for the most part. Navigating all of these tyre options isn't easy though. I've just explained why buying tyres is now more complex than ever, though I'd argue brands could make things simpler. Sure, if you're familiar with one particular tyre manufacturer, denoting the compound jargon and casing acronyms gets easier over time. But imagine this. Your favourite tyre is worn threadbare and needs replacing, but to your dismay, no one has stock of that tyre. You opt for the next best tyre from a different brand. If you're experienced enough, you'll have some idea as to whether the tread pattern will work for the sort of riding you have in mind. But getting your head around how this brand labels their rubber compounds and sidewall constructions can really throw you. I'm not saying for an instance we're talking about cracking the Enigma code here, but it does feel we're at a point where things are a little overcomplicated. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for exotic tyre names. I'm more than happy to keep the Asagais, Taki Chans and Scorpions of the tyre world, but surely there's an easier way to convey their other details. I'm not digging at all brands here. Schwalbe do a decent job of listing rubber compound and casing construction, while Maxxis make it easy enough to know what the rubber compound should be good for. But it feels like tyre buying is still a bit of a minefield. I'm sure some brands will be keen for me to get back in my box, but wouldn't it be good if brands could agree upon a way to unify how they denote the rubber compounds and tyre construction? All brands could use the same term for the compound. Yes, that means no more T9, Addix Soft, etc, etc. And casing options, bye-bye double down, grid gravity and the rest, to make life for the consumer that bit easier. It may seem very pragmatic and a little dull, and I'm sure the engineering teams would love it, though I think the marketing departments might have a tantrum. Maybe I'm just not smart enough. To me though, this would be a big win for all us punters. I'm not saying all tyres must be built the same. A trail casing for one brand doesn't have to be identical to a different brand's trail casing. However, at least everyone would know what type of riding that tyre suits, and it would be easier to negotiate than the tyre minefield currently in place. Will this happen? It's very, very doubtful. Newcomers will have to continue to weave their way through the tyre marketing maze to find what they're looking for. Then again, when has anything in the world of bikes been easy? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you want to know more about tyres, then check out this video.